students.
I felt like really welcomed and like they're really friendly. They're teaching me about like what do they learn in school.
Lessons they say go far beyond the classroom.
I'm grateful for like things that my parents give me.
From powerful experience.
Let me tell you why I absolutely hated Ghana before I came to Ghana. So I used to go to school in Liberia, and I had this teacher who was a Ghanaian teacher. He's called Mr. Yeboah.
I woke up in Ghana and they gave me cocoa. Do you know how chocolate was made? Because I didn't. I finally found out how chocolate was made.
So the American 7th graders student that came from Philadelphia have safely gone back to America, and they are sharing their experience, the wonderful experience that they had in Ghana. And also I have other foreigners sharing their experiences living and visiting Ghana. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go into the videos, watch, come back and talk.
Well, a group of West Philadelphia students, they are back home after the trip of a lifetime. Scholars from Global Leadership Academy visited Ghana, where they spent more than a week learning about the culture and history there. And our Waukesha Bailey, she joins us live here in studio to show us what that experience meant to them. What a trip, Waukesha.
Josh, it really was. I mean, when the bus pulled in nearly 2 weeks ago, parents were waiting, cameras out, ready to hug their children after a journey that took them thousands of miles from West Philadelphia. But school leaders say the real impact of this trip is what these students learned about themselves and the world.
To hear them talk about how they felt, how we as a team came together.
It was a special welcome, one of many. Students from Global Leadership Academy in West Philadelphia are back home after spending more than a week in Ghana.
I am so empowered by them.
Dr. Naomi Johnson Booker created the trip to introduce students to a world beyond their neighborhood.
We went to a school called Ghana International. I watched the Ghanaian kids see them and hug and get so excited again. So the connections are awesome.
For many, it was their first time traveling outside the country.
Are you tired?
Yes. During their journey, students visited the last bath, where enslaved Africans were forced to wash before being taken to the coastal slave castles. For some students, the experience was deeply personal.
The moment I stepped my feet into the water, I felt like my ancestors were speaking to me and telling me their story.
These 7th and 8th graders also connected with local communities and students.
I felt like really welcomed and like they're really friendly. They're teaching me about like what do they learn in school.
Lessons they say go far beyond the classroom.
I'm grateful for like things that my parents give me.
From powerful experiences to new friendships and even a few dance moves. Here at home, Dr. Booker says the work of these scholars is never done.
The staff and I and the children had one day to be off. Well, you know, we got to get back to work.
Well, school leaders say fundraising is already underway for next year's trip. And up next, 6th graders will head to Atlanta in a few weeks for a civil rights tour. And Josh, I have to say, just seeing those students when they arrived, they looked a lot different than when they left.
Well,
they were just so empowered.
It's a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
And you're going to go chaperone with them next year?
Do you think they'll let me go?
Oh, I think they would.
You think so?
The question is just whether we're going to let you go.
Yeah, that's it. I can report from Ghana.
I'll come with. We'll start planning now. Fundraiser starts now. Thank you, Waukesha.
So I just discovered that Michael B. Jordan, the Oscar winner, yes, he won, might be Ghanaian. I don't know. I know his middle name is Bakari. Michael B. is Bakari. Bakari is a West African name. I don't know. It's not Ghanaian, I think, but I'm just curious. He said in his Oscar speech that his father flew in from Ghana. Why this is so important? Because creativity is often like misunderstood, misrepresented when it comes to the African continent and Caribbean people, right? I'm from the Caribbean, but I have lived in Africa, I've lived in the Caribbean, I've lived in multiple places. I'm from Europe, but that is something that you see in the West really being celebrated, like an Oscar for an actor. As an actor, you are working in the creative industry, just as a video editor, just as an author, book writer, just as a singer. But in African culture and Caribbean culture, it's often pushed to the side or underestimated. Wow, this is where the real intellectual property lives. This is where you can get royalties on your movies, royalties on books, royalties on your ideas. That's what I'm talking about. So I hope you, let's celebrate that this is happening, for the community. And literally, because he won this Oscar, he can ask way more for any movie. So it literally increases your value, your monetary value. And it's just dope, right?
Something actually surprised me when I moved to Ghana initially. I am talking about the use of herbal medicine right here. It is a very normal thing, very normal. And for someone who is coming out of Ghana, let me tell you, I was initially skeptical about using it at first. Now, the very reason is this. In Nigeria, most of us actually grew up with a very strong hospital mindset. We believed in, orthodox medicine and all of those things. So ideally, if you had malaria, the first thing that comes to your mind is, or you think you have malaria or you're displaying symptoms, the first thing is for you to go to hospital, get tested, and of course, if it is that is worrying you or doing you, take your medications. Now, I'm not saying that herbal medicine doesn't exist in Nigeria. It does exist, but rarely do you see people use it. Oftentimes, maybe it's the older generation that refer to it, or, in the traditional settings, all of those things. So you can imagine my surprise, my shock when I moved here and I started noticing that the reverse is actually the case here. People would tell you that they are taking herbal medicine for something like malaria. And I'll be like, you say what? Now, the first time I actually heard someone say he was taking herbal medicine for malaria was a teacher, that was taking my daughters in classes, and he was like, he had malaria and he was taking the herbal medicine for it. And I'm like, are you serious? I remember telling him so many times, are you sure you won't go to hospital? And this is because, in my mind, malaria is something that you treat with the malaria medications that you get from the pharmacy, not you taking the herbal remedy. You get it? Now, do you know that while he was taking the herbal medicine for the malaria, I was more or less watching to see if indeed he was going to get better. And he got well. He resumed, taking the girls in classes. And for weeks, I was like, could it be that he was taking, medications? I think I even, asked him, you sure say you were not taking medication? And he told me, no, that it was the herbal medicine. He even told me what he was taking, you get it? Now, another incident happened, and this one happened right under my nose. My husband, out of the blue, started complaining of, waist pain. And he went somewhere one day, and the person, said he could relate to the pain that my husband was going through, and took him to this herbal doctor in quotes, where he was recommended some herbal mixture. Now, when he brought it home, I told him there was no way he was going to be taking this herbal medicine. But of course, he's the one who was going through the pain. So he went ahead, taking the mixture. But I kept telling him, let's go to the hospital, because the pain did not disappear almost immediately. But do you know what? After some time of him taking this herbal mixture, the pain, I want to use the word, disappeared. It's been months this incident took place, and not once has he ever, complained about the pain. And for me, I realized something, that in Ghana here, herbal medicine isn't something that, I want to use the word, strange to them. It's something that is widely accepted. People use it confidently. And I wouldn't say that 100% it works, but it does work, okay? So the thing is that when you move from your country to another country, your eyes are going to open. You get it? Your eyes are going to open to how different cultures, approach health and healing. You're going to see that the things that you were once scared or skeptical about, you're going to start observing, it with an open mind, because the people over there are using it. So I'm not saying that I have started using it. I don't, and I don't know if in the near future I'm actually going to use it, but I'm just curious. So if you live in Ghana now as a foreigner, irrespective of the country you're coming from, do you use a herbal medicine? And if you do not mind, what illness did you use it for? And of course, if you are in Nigeria, in the comments here, would you try herbal medicine for something like malaria or body pain, or for anything that you can use it? Because honestly, let me say, when I first saw that people were actually taking it, I'm like, no, I'm not sure about this one. I don't know. I'm not giving 100% to it. But then again, so guys, let's talk.
Bit of what is saying. Many nua bema bako ena ye gyina ha na ye hwe mekrum ha na machire ne twi bako so waho. What is the weather like?
Eviabo.
Wow. Eviabo fefe. Me manu so gyina ha na mu hwe via no. Oh, what is the weather like?
Eviabo.
Wow. Eviabo. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me tell you why I absolutely hated Ghana before I came to Ghana. So I used to go to school in Liberia, and I have this teacher who was a Ghanaian teacher. He's called Mr. Yeboah. His soul rest in peace. And I absolutely freaking hated Mr. Yeboah. He was so straight, but honestly, reflecting back as an adult, I would not hate Mr. Yeboah as an adult because he was only about his job and really wanting us to learn the subject really well. However, I was a very unserious, playful, noisy child. And Mr. Yeboah was a very patriotic Ghanaian citizen. One of his favorite food was omutuo. Every day he's like, hey, omutuo, I miss omutuo. And in class, I'm just like, man, shut up. So a few years later, I went to the States and then moved from the States and then came to Ghana. I went to a boarding school. First of me coming to a boarding house, I met this girl, Nana Amma. Nana Amma was so freaking friendly. Nana Amma is the reason I ended up loving Ghana so much to the point now that I live here. I came and Nana Amma came running downstairs. She's like, oh, hi, oh my God, I've been waiting for you. Such a girl's girl. No, I've already built up a wall, a defensive wall to expect terrible people from Ghana, like trying to help me to collect my things and take it upstairs. In my head, I'm like, girl, leave my... The fuck? Take your hands off my things. I don't know you. Square up. But literally in about 2 hours of just being there, I already knew that maybe I have a bad understanding of Ghana. Her whole family loved me. She was the reason I went to Kumasi. My parents also loved her. We're housemates and we just became, I guess, high school best friends. We no longer talk as much. I hope she's doing well. But Nana Amma is the reason I loved Ghana, and Mr. Yeboah was the reason I hated Ghana. After connecting with Ghana, everything he said about Ghana was true. Very accommodating, very welcome. As someone who's not a Ghanaian, I feel so much at home here, and I'm just happy to be here. Happy Independence Day, Ghana. Thank you so much, Ghana, for being so kind to me over these few years.
I woke up in Ghana and they gave me cocoa. Do you know how chocolate was made? Because I didn't. I finally found out how chocolate was made unexpectedly. Cocoa tasted so good, it had woke me up early in the morning because we had woke up at 6:30 a.m. And mind you, after I finished eating it, well, while I was eating it, I thought I could swallow it. And they said no. And they started making fun of me saying if I swallow it, it's going to come out my behind and turn to something. But it was so funny. But mind you, I was so in tune of what and how they created chocolate. I started mixing it with them. They showed me the tree where they planted at. It was just so amazing, y'all. Let's create chocolate. Not yet, though. Just a little bit. Just from the beginning.
It's always spicy. Every time. I tried this one, please. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we have egg, rice, sausage, some beef. I'm not sure what exactly this is. Corned beef, fish, some sauce. Yeah, and plantain. I get some fish, some sauce. Very nice. Food is really good. Like, I'm always a bit careful because of the spices, but it wasn't that bad. And it's super clean. 8 out of 10 for the taste. The guam was pretty good, but is there something better? So let me know what I should try next time.
Y'all, they're selling sapo at Winners. They are selling sapo at Winners. Happy Ghana Independence Day for all my Ghanaians. Who do I blame for sapo being sold at Winners? For $10, mind you. Now, listen. At least they termed it right. They called it African sponge net or net sponge. So they're giving credit to where credit is due for the most part. But why are we selling sapo at Winners. Like, if you're serious about it, go to an African store. Support local, first of all. And if you're really about the Sapo life, which I would sincerely hope you are, because there's no better feeling than having jalid with a Sapo. I'm sorry, I'm using a lot of tree terms here. You don't feel as clean. Personally, I don't think. I mean, everyone showers however they do. But like, I feel like you're not as clean if you're not using a Sapo when you shower. But support local. Support your aunties at the African Caribbean stores. They're selling them for like $2. Like, Winners don't need our money. I love Winners. Trust me, Winners is like one of my favorite stores. But like, you don't need to be buying Sapo from Winners.
This is how I make my money last living in Ghana. First, I don't use my air conditioner, mostly because it hasn't been hot enough for me to need it, but also because AC uses a lot of electricity compared to a fan. Also, I make sure everything is turned off when I'm not using it. Here in Ghana, every outlet has its own switch, so you can turn things off completely and not waste power. Next is food. I shop locally and I usually take a Ghanaian with me to negotiate so that I'm getting the best price. I also eat like a Ghanaian and not like an American, and that alone will save you so much money. Since coming to Ghana, I felt called to deepen my spirituality and focus on my wellness journey. That has led me to fast more, and it helped my food stretch a lot further than it normally would. Another way I save money is by not going out all the time. Coming from America, where I worked 2 jobs and barely had time to enjoy the expensive rent I was paying, I've learned to love staying home. I have creative projects that keeps me busy, I get a lot of rest, and my neighbor always welcomes me over for a meal and conversations. It's a blessing to be able to live a soft, simple life that gives you peace of mind.
Day 4 of trying random things and rating them in Ghana. Today, the famous, the premium lager, a club. So, cheers. Do you know what that is? It's a little bit orgasmic. It's orgasmic. You know, it's just, it's a pure 8.7. 8.7.
You know what I love about this is that they are doing this with the young kids. You know, on the normal, usually it's the older people that we see them coming to Ghana to see the castles and also learn about the history and all that. This is so beautiful, seeing 7th graders. These are young kids, and this is something that they've been doing. I remember last year they did sing. This year they are doing another one, and I know it is something that is going to continue. As she said, next year they are going to come again. So it's something that they've been doing, and I really love this for them, because Charlie, growing up and having this history, knowing this, it shapes you. It makes you realize where you came from originally, and also it prepares you for the future, basically, because most African Americans that we know today, who are especially in America, that have never traveled before, do not have this first-hand experience, so they tend to have a different perspective about Africa. But these kids, trust me, are really going to have a different perspective altogether when they grow up and the way they see Africa in general. And this is one thing that I really, really love for them. It's so beautiful seeing them go through this, and Charlie, I love it for them. Honestly, I love this for them. And Michael B. Jordan's videos has been trending. I understand, but as he said on the stage, he said his dad came from Ghana. I don't know why many people are kind of mistaking that to be that the guy might be from Ghana and all that. I saw one of his videos some time ago, and it was like he wishes to visit Ghana someday, because this is a place that he has heard that Ghana is a very cool place, and when he comes, the feeling is different. This. Perhaps his dad is one of the African Americans that are currently living in Ghana, or have decided to just leave, like come here and stay here, like the way Rita Marley, like the wife of Bob Marley, is currently living in Ghana. So I'm not sure he's from here. Perhaps he has not done his DNA. Maybe later when he does it, Ghana might appear in there. So Charlie, let's keep our fingers crossed and let's see what happens. Thank you so much for watching.